What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Versus right here on Clint Likes Everything. Man, I'm excited for tonight. We have an amazing show. And what is Versus? In case it's your first time, well, it's a show where we do movie battles. And today we have Elf versus National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Man, what an amazing battle right here. Before we get into it, guys, do me a favor. You know the drill. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And I'm going to need to get my my trusty cohort, Curtis, in here. Curtis, how you doing, man?
I am doing great, guys. I am doing spectacular. Thank you so much for having me, Clint.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure. What's going on here?
It's always good to be with you and Satan around the holidays.
I just hit an old I hit a button. What that's not very Christmassy, but man, look, I'm excited. I haven't talked to the chat yet, so we'll get up there and see who we got tonight. But this is going to be a fun one because the two movies in question, Elf, holy crap, man. One of the some people say it's Will Ferrell's best role. Hilarious, feel-good Christmas movie. It's a classic. You knew it was a classic the first time you saw it. You're like, this is the greatest thing ever. And then, speaking of classics, we got National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is a favorite that you can't go at Christmas without watching this show. But wow, how exciting! Let's see who we got up here in the chat.
Yes.
Real quick and say hi. All right, we got Bobby. Yes, hit that like button. And anybody watching, if you haven't yet, please give us a thumbs up. It helps us be recognized by the old algorithm. We got Bobby, we got Mel, we got Riley. We got a good people in the house. Curtis, how are you doing, man? And how did you feel about these movie picks? I mean, I know we brought up Vacation, and we're like, who in the hell or what movie could we possibly get to compete with Christmas Vacation? And then it occurred to us, Elf, and I'm glad we did. But like, what did you think about this team up? And did you have fun watching them?
I had very much fun. And you kind of nailed it. Like when the first time you see Elf, like you immediately think this is a new Christmas classic. Like. And each time you rewatch it, you realize why. And Christmas Vacation is, always on the list. I watch it every year. I think Mel, if you hadn't seen it, you got to get on that before Christmas.
If any of you guys haven't seen either of these movies, you got to get on it. They're the greatest thing ever. Before we get started, I got to do a disclaimer. Christmas Vacation is so near and dear to my heart that it's hard to even have this conversation. You know what I mean? Like, I am extremely biased when it comes to Christmas Vacation. I've seen that movie a million times. I love that movie. But that's why we have this extremely scientific technique of grading these movies. So it's out of our hands, guys. It's science. Just throwing that out there.
And that's why we're here. I agree. The Christmas Vacation is probably my number one go-to for the holidays. Even beating Die Hard. Like I don't miss a year where I see Christmas Vacation. Elf has jumped on that list. But yeah, it's so there's definitely a good bit of bias there. However, I'm a pretty strong Elf fan as well. I've got 2 or 3 shirts and all that good junk. So. Well, this is another week where I was like, I really don't know who's going to win this one.
Who is going to win? Who will win? Let's get. I'm going to read the synopsis, and then we're going to talk about this movie for a minute. As the holidays approach, Clark Griswold, played by Chevy Chase, wants to have a perfect family Christmas. So he pesters his wife, Ellen, played by Beverly D'Angelo, and children as he tries to make sure everything is in line, including the tree and the house decorations. However, things go awry quickly. His hick cousin Eddie, played by Randy Quaid, who's badass, and his family show up unplanned and start living in their camper on the Griswold property. Even worse, Clark's employers renege on the holiday bonus he needs. First, before we even get into the plot of this movie and talk about it, I want to talk about the other vacations. You know what I mean? Like, if for those of you who haven't watched and didn't grow up on the National Lampoon's Vacation movies. First of all, what the hell is National Lampoon's? I've seen that before. Way back, remember back in the Hollywood video days or Blockbuster, you'd walk by and you'd see National Lampoon's. It used to be a magazine, kind of like Mad Magazine or something like that, and their people started making movies, and that's just kind of their badge. So you know it comes from them, you know, and I remember seeing Vacation as a tiny kid, the first one where their grandmother dies and they strap her to the roof and it starts raining, and then there's another thing where he gets pulled over and he had chained the dog up to the bumper and like the leash is left and he's like, and the cop gets upset, and it's just I mean, they're priceless movies. They're like, it's like The Jerk. They're just classics.
They crashed off the thing, and the son was picking his nose, and he's like, "I poked my brain."
and then there's like, and then there's also European Vacation, which European Vacation, and it might just happen to be the age that I am and how old I was when it came out. It was one of my favorites. Like, I think I liked European Vacation better than the first one. But it's amazing, and they go to Europe, and it's just every adventure that this guy goes on, he just wants to have a good family time. He's a good-hearted guy, but he's got an ego a little bit. Like he's a good-hearted guy, but like things like somebody passing him in traffic, or you know, he's just your typical all-American hard-headed dad or husband, you know what I mean? And it's hilarious, and you relate to it. It's always a little more exaggerated than sometimes than reality, but you just relate to the guy. And the older I get, the more I relate to Clark Griswold, and it's hilarious. And that brings us to Christmas Vacation. And there's more. There's a Vegas Vacation, which I didn't care for that much, and I think there's even another one after that. But
they tried to revamp it with what's his name from The Office, but it just, to me, it didn't work at all. And Christina Applegate, and it was Rusty grown up. It's like a
okay, yeah. You got it. It's Chevy Chase, man. Chevy Chase is this character, and you love the guy, and he's really just trying to do good and do the right thing, you know, and it's hilarious.
Well, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, from when I was younger, I liked, obviously I loved Christmas Vacation from day one, but I liked European better. And I didn't, you know, really get the comedy of the, I don't think I was young enough to get the comedy of the first one as much. But now I think European is lesser than the first one. But I'd say, again, it's probably been 10 years since I've rewatched, you know, besides the Christmas one.
Let's put it on the queue. We need to do European Vacation, maybe versus Euro Trip. We can do those two. That would be a good one. Yeah,
that would be a good one.
Yeah, I haven't heard those bells in years. What is it? They're going to hang somebody, Dad. Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, but this movie's so good, and I feel like Christmas Vacation kind of kicked the door open for the bad comedies. Like, before this, it was all like Hallmark movies, like feel good comedies. And you had Scrooge that came out the year before, 88. This one came out in 89. But Scrooge is really just a spoof of the Christmas Carol, or not Christmas Carol, but the Ebenezer Scrooge story. You know, so it is like it's just a rehash of an old story. This is just like, this is an all-American dad just trying to have a Christmas thing and going over the top on everything, on the decorations and all that, but like, he cusses a little bit and it freaks out, and there's just all these things. Before that, if you were attached to Christmas, I don't remember. I was trying to think about it earlier, trying to think of another movie that had any. And for now, this is tame. You know what I mean? Now all the stuff we have
Right.
now, but back then, I can't remember of another bad a Christmas movie before this. It was besides maybe Scrooged. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so I feel like I want to say that I think the Christmas Vacation movie is a pioneer of the bad Christmas movies. I might be forgetting one. If I am, put it in the chat for me, or in the in the comments of this video. But anyway, so that being said, now there's all kinds of crazy Christmas movies and horror movies and bad. I really want to see Violent Night. You got Bad Santa we did last week, and there's tons of them. But yeah, I think that the magic of this movie though is the older you get, the more you can relate. When we were kids, it's just the funny stuff of an explosion and seeing a reindeer fly through the air, or the lights being so ridiculous that it's a spectacle. And as a kid, you think that's hilarious. But as an adult, there's a lot of things that I didn't even notice when I was a kid that I notice
Mhm.
now. Like, like we were talking before we went live, like, yeah, how he says, what did he say about I could think of a good place to stick this tree, or what is it?
Yeah. Where are you gonna put a tree that big? And he's like, bend over and I'll show you.
And he's like, "Hey, you can't talk to me that way." And he goes, "Who says I was talking to you?" And which he's talking to Elaine, the neighbor, Elaine, which is hilarious. That I didn't even realize that was Elaine when I was a kid. Because well, I guess Seinfeld hadn't happened yet.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, but watching back, it's nice to see her too. But anyway, so the older I get, I feel like I relate to this movie and who Clark Griswold is, and every time I go over the top on a project or anything like that, I could say, "Hey, I'm Griswolding out right now." Even Christmas lights or Halloween decorations or anything. And I said that to somebody today. I go, "Oh, a good old Griswold family Christmas, huh?" And he just looked over me and nodded. So yeah. So
Hell yeah.
so that is Christmas Vacation. Let's talk real quick about Elf. Elf, Buddy, played by Will Ferrell, was accidentally transported to the North Pole as a toddler and raised to adulthood amongst Santa's elves. Unable to shake the feeling that he didn't fit in, the adult Buddy travels to New York in full elf uniform in search of his real father, played by James Caan. As it happens, this is Walter Hobbs, a cynical businessman. After a DNA test proves it, Walter reluctantly attempts to start a relationship with the childlike Buddy, with increasingly chaotic results. This is just a fun movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a sweet Christmas movie. It's just nice. And I think it's cool that this was a new idea too. I was talking about, Scrooge spoofing, an old tale, but this is a completely new idea about
Right.
an elf, and it was fun, and it's based on the North Pole and based on all that, but it was new. So hats off for coming up with something new. This wasn't just there's a lot of movies that are like Love Actually, and it's a bunch of scenarios, and they're talking about family and how tough it can be, and it's a relatable movie, which I think they're all borrowing from Christmas Vacation. But this
Yeah.
thing is something new, and it's a fish out of water story of an elf going to find his dad, and like a lot of those stories, completely stupid character that doesn't know what to do on an escalator. I remember first time I watched this, I think I was in a tour bus, and we watched it on the tour bus, and I remember us dying laughing. Dave specifically, I remember Dave cracking up. But that was the first time I saw this. So I was on tour when I first saw this movie, and the movie's hilarious.
Yeah. And the way but so what's great about it is, like you said, it's a brand new story for Christmas, but John Favreau is such a great director that he was smart enough to take a brand new idea and mix it so well with all the stuff we already know, like the Rudolph settings and like all of the normal stuff that we associate, we watch every year with Christmas. He mixed it into this movie. Um, And I was just reading in the trivia, like he did that specifically. Like he made the stuff look like the Rudolph movie. He borrowed from other Christmas movies and all kind of stuff like that. And like it's just a great mix of both new and old.
My favorite thing about this movie is that they never really dull Buddy's glow. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's just the way he is. He's super positive and just like naively like nuts about Christmas and everything else, and he's just the way. They don't break him down or anything. He has one little moment where he's upset because he doesn't feel like he fits in, but he is who he is the whole time, and
Yeah.
and it's like, and it's just I think if I had kids, I think like this would be a favorite for the kids because this is just a positive movie and fun. I also liked Zoe Deschanel's character in this. Her singing is fantastic. This is before I even knew who she was. This is before she blew up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I enjoyed the story. I liked the positivity. I liked the subtle jokes. There was little jokes here and there sprinkled throughout that they didn't even go searching for punchlines. Like they didn't. It was subtle. Like the special someone lingerie. Yeah. Give this lingerie to that someone special, and he like, oh, and he gets that and he gives it to his dad because he doesn't know any better, Oh, it's for that someone special.
My dad's special.
They don't even give that, like, they don't hit that joke hard. It's a subtle joke just slid in there, and there's a few of them sprinkled throughout the movie that I think it's hilarious. Those are even funnier because they sneak up on you. But anyway, let's see here. Well, you want to get into game time? Let's make this happen, man. We talked about both. I didn't mention Christmas Vacation was written by John Hughes, who made all the other favorite 80s movies. You said it. Jon Favreau directed Elf. Two legends right there. I think we've said enough of all that. Let's get into game time. So, guys, you know the rules. Each team gets 1 point. And you guys like all my moving graphics that I got going on today? Man, I spent an extra time. I was feeling extra Christmassy. So we get this fine stuff. So we got each guy has one snowman, and let's get to it. All right. Also, if you'll notice, our disco ball is a Christmas ornament. All right. Let's do this. I'm going to do one thing real fast.
And while you're doing that one thing, so on IMDb, Christmas Vacation has a 7.5 out of 10. Elf has a 7 out of 10. So Vacation's a little higher on IMDb. For Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score for Christmas Vacation is a 71. The critic score for Elf is an 85. The audience score for Vacation is an 86. The audience score for Elf is a 79. So they kind of even out a little bit there between critics and audience. Here's the big heavy hitter, though. The budget for Christmas Vacation was $25 million, and it made $73 million. So about 3 times its budget, a little less than 3 times its budget, which isn't, bad. But for Elf, the budget was $33 million, and it made $224 million, close to 7 times its budget.
Wow.
So, yeah, like that's...
and Elf is still making money because they just redid it, did a new... what do they call it? It's not a print of it, but they released it on 4K. So yeah. So this movie, in an age where 4K discs are dying, all this like physical media is dying. They're still releasing Elf because it's a moneymaker every year. It's just like a Christmas song. You write a Christmas song, you're set for life. It sells every year, forever. Same with the movies. So that's pretty awesome. Well, awesome, man. Well, let's get into this. First of all right, transfer is the word I was looking for, Mel. They do a transfer from film onto onto digital because it was made. It was actually made on film. All right, who had the better story? Who had the better story? Got a couple of videos. Let's see.
All my life I've wanted to have a big family Christmas.
Oh man.
That's right.
The question is, what are you going to do with that big bonus check? You're going to blow it on yourself, I hope.
I'm going to get a swimming pool.
Yeah. The last true family man.
And that's his niece.
Yeah.
That is a good story, though. I like how they came through and just went ahead and bought presents for all the kids. You know, they're like,
The story about an adopted elf named Buddy who was raised in the North Pole.
Oh,
went to
yeah.
New York, ate spaghetti, worked in a shiny mailroom, and eventually saved Christmas.
First, I traveled to the 7 levels of the candy cane forest.
yeah. The 7 levels of the candy cane forest. That's right. Which one do you think has a better story?
Well, so let's talk about this. Oh, fucking elf on the shelf. I think Buddy the Elf.
Buddy
the Elf. No. I thought that Elf started out as a book first, but I didn't want to lie to everybody.
in real life or in the movie?
I thought in real life, but I guess not. So, okay, that makes it even more impressive. But so, yeah, we talked about before, Elf is a very original idea, and a very well executed and good one. And I was honestly, story-wise, I was honestly like thinking, like, how is this even going to compete? How can Christmas Vacation even compete with it? I mean, that original of a story. And then after watching several Christmas movies with my family, I noticed a common theme among Christmas films. The dad's either dead or he's a jerk that works too much and needs to learn a lesson. Think of any Christmas movie, besides maybe Home Alone because the dad's barely even there, but the
Mhm.
dad's either dead or he's a jerk that works too much and needs to learn a lesson. And this is the only Christmas film where you've got a great dad. He wants to have a big family Christmas. He wants to use his bonus to get him a pool. Like he wants to make his house look awesome for his kids. Like he wants to do all the like it's the only Christmas film with a great dad. And I was like, you know what? I like that story. It's like even Elf. It's a shitty dad that's
Yeah.
needs to learn a lesson. So there's my pitch.
I'm going to give that to you. I'm going to back you. I was going to say Elf, an original story, but I like the argument, man. And I can't think of another Christmas movie that has a good dad besides Liam Neeson in Love Actually. He's the stepdad. You haven't seen that movie?
I don't think I have.
Come on, Bill Nighy, Liam Neeson,
I don't think so.
Snape, all okay. Oh, it's a fantastic movie. Rick Grimes from Walking Dead's in it. Come on.
I don't know. I didn't even know it was a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. Oh boy, reschedule for next week. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with you on the good story. I'll say yes, because I like that idea. I like the idea of Clark getting his kudos. If he doesn't get it from his kids, at least we can give him the kudos he deserves. So we're gonna give the best story to Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, it was amazing. We were watching these Christmas movies, and it was like, well, dad's dead. Well, the dad's dead. Oh, look, another dead dad. And it was like, oh, this dad's a jerk. Well, okay, he's got to learn a lesson. Like, isn't Snape also a Rick?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Pickle Rick.
Dead or yeah. Dead or a deadbeat.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on to the next one. The next one is the cast. Let's talk about the cast. Who is the best cast? And again, special kudos to the falling snowflake graphics. Yeah,
Nice, very nice.
very nice. All right, let's look at this cast. National Lampoon's Vacation. We got Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Randy Quaid, Johnny Galecki. You didn't
Yeah.
know that was him, did you?
I did.
Juliette Lewis. You know what I love about the Vacation movies? It seems like the kids are constantly changing. Like in
Always.
every movie, they're always different. And I wonder if it's they just couldn't get them back, or if they turned it into a gag where they're just intentionally getting different kids every time, because it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think they ended up turning it into a running gag.
We got Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Daniel Flynn, Doris Roberts, Brian Doyle Murray. That's Bill Murray's brother. Nicholas Guest.
Mae
Nice.
Questel, I think she's the one who was going, I pledge allegiance to the
Yeah.
flag.
And she was the original voice of Betty Boop.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. I heard
Sam
somebody say,
Murray.
I think John Randolph, who's the dad, Papa Griswold, I
Right.
think he was the original Papa Costanza.
He was. Yeah, I've got that episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
So fantastic cast. Now let's look at the Elf movie. Whole bunch of other good ones. Will Ferrell, James Caan, Zoe Deschanel, Jon Favreau, Peter Dinklage. What? Bob Newhart, who's awesome. Mary Steenburgen, Edward Asner, and the list goes on and on.
Amy Sedaris.
Yeah.
Peter Billingsley, who, so yes, and somebody mentioned it earlier. Who was it? Ming Ming, the elf in Santa's Workshop, who's like Buddy's supervisor, is actually Ralphie from A Christmas Story. That's him. It's got KG from Tenacious D, Kyle Glass.
Oh yeah, and KG and Andy Richter, both
Yeah, that's right. Andy Richter.
from Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, I always want to call him something else.
Yeah. So another fantastic cast. Who wins? Who wins?
Now, I want to say Elf, but looking at the cast of Christmas Vacation, they've got some heavy hitters in here. But one thing that's interesting from the trivia as well. So I've heard that Chevy Chase is hard to deal with, but I've myself have heard very few examples. But apparently, Christopher Columbus, the director of Home Alone, is a good friend of John Hughes, and he was going to direct this, and he couldn't work with Chevy Chase, so he took the loss and walked off the project, and that's why they got the Chechik guy. And then Bob Newhart's role as Papa Elf was originally planned to be Chevy Chase when Jon Favreau was writing it. Will Ferrell said, whenever he came back to host Saturday Night Live, he was the worst host in the history of the world. I won't work with him. And they were like,
wow.
"Oh." And so Chevy Chase is kind of his own worst enemy when it comes to cast. Amazing, comedic talent, but yeah, apparently he is horrible to work with.
Yeah, if you got an ego, that can be troublesome. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stories about him and Bill Murray not getting along too.
Yeah, I've heard they have.
Yeah, I've heard some pretty wild stories about that. So going back to best cast, who we picking?
I would go with Elf on this one because of the heavy hitters, they have larger roles than the people in Vacation. You got Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo. The other people are there, but the core group of Elf is more heavy hitters in my opinion.
All right, point for Elf. Look how excited Elf is.
I got a point.
I got
Yay! I like points.
All right. Let's see here. Well, funniest moment. Who had the funniest moment? We'll start with Elf this time.
Okay, people, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town. Oh, my God. I know him. Santa's coming.
That cracked me up.
And that's the thing. He works with him like every day throughout the year, and he's that excited to see Santa.
Okay, people, tomorrow
Yeah.
morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town. Oh, my God. I know him.
I could watch it. I could watch Will Ferrell every day, dude. I love that guy. All right. And then Vacation. Funniest moment.
And we're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house. Here, Coop. Don't piss me off, Art. Take a look around you, Ellen. We're at the threshold of hell.
The whole rant is great, but I love whenever he's like, "You're goofy," and he's just like, "Don't piss me off." Like that's his father-in-law. He's just like, wrong time to poke the bear, dude.
So who wins on that one?
I don't know. I mean, I love the rant, but the Santa scream
It's pretty good.
it's pretty good.
Mel says I thought of the Santa scream immediately.
I know him.
Elf for funniest, says Riley. I think Elf gets a point on this one.
I agree. I think.
Ah! Anything, dude. Will Ferrell when he's over like just doing his
When
thing
he's-
is you can't beat him. He's the fucking funniest human ever. All right. Okay. Well, let's see here. Funniest. How about we'll jump over into who had the most emotional moment that hit you in the feels. We'll start with Vacation on this one.
We're gonna press on, and we're gonna have the happiest Christmas.
Is that the
since
same-
Bing Crosby tap danced with
No.
Danny fucking Kaye. And when Santa
It's fairly emotional. It shows rage. It shows
Is this
lunacy. No, that's not the clip.
okay? I'm like, don't piss me off, Art.
We're at the threshold of hell.
Hold on, I got you, buddy. I got you, buddy. What happened here?
I got your back, Jack. It was in there earlier.
Are we having a big mess? Yes. All right.
Oh, Krampus. Leave us alone, Krampus.
Yeah, leave us alone. Vacation feels. Let's see. There we go. This is the clip we needed.
Good all year round.
And what's happening in this clip?
So, this is his niece is, of course, Eddie's daughter. Is explaining to him that they've been very good and they didn't get stuff for Christmas.
How can they have nothing for their children?
And they basically have nothing for their kids. And being a kid, you're thinking like, and watching it, you don't think about it as much, but you're like, oh, poor kids had kids. But now, like as an adult, and we've been lucky we can have stuff for our kids, and like, but to be in that position,
To be in
I
the
don't know.
dad's position?
yeah, well, yeah,
To be in
I
Eddie's
don't,
position?
I don't know how aware Eddie is of it, like, but or of many things, but yeah, or just probably the mom's position even more, but like to not be able to get stuff for your kids, even little something like
Yeah.
it's got to be rough.
Well, let's see the emotional elf moment. Oh, look, that's not even the right clip.
Good all year round.
All right, now we get to.
Okay, Clark.
We didn't do nothing wrong.
We still got the shaft.
Elf.
Who's working the projector?
Somebody screw. Oh, here we go. I got this. I'm gonna move this down here. This is the appropriate
sorry I ruined your lives and crammed 11 cookies into the VCR. I don't belong here. I don't belong anywhere. I'll never
Oh,
forget you.
come on, buddy.
Love, Buddy.
Come on, buddy.
God. It's camel toe.
I don't belong anywhere.
Will has a way of making you feel it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't belong anywhere. But children not getting presents is a sad thing too. So
Yeah, and also like I had to cut it out, but like they're so broke whenever she's like, I love it here. Your house stays in one place and you don't have to put your jacket on to go to the bathroom. Like, because they live in an RV, and Beverly D'Angelo says, he's been out of work for 7 years. Clark's like, well, he hadn't found a job in 7 years, and she goes, she says he's waiting out for a management position. But yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I would say like that's just that whole, because Eddie and like their trashiness is funny, but whenever you see it from the kids' perspective, it's like, oh,
it's not funny when it's
not
the
that
kids,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah, like, so I'm gonna pick Vacay.
Vacay. What do you guys think for the most emotional? Elf is pretty non-emotional most of the movie. It's all happiness and sunshine until
But happiness is an emotion. That's
well, it isn't emotional, but it's like naive, but Clark's got a lot of disappointment. He's like, can't get those lights, and frustration and angry, and then he blows a gasket when he doesn't get his bonus. It's a tough one. Bobby says Elf.
Yeah, like that's a good point. Emotional doesn't mean like have to mean sad and blah blah. Like when you put on an Elf on, you get happy. Like that's just what happens. So I don't know. I can see that as well. Yeah.
Elf. Riley says
Yeah.
Vacation for little Ruby. Now it's on. Now we need
Ruby too.
Where's Mel at coming in? Where's Mel? Mel, we need your vote. Yeah, and pretty much I'm talking about which movie hits you in the feels. You know what I mean? Makes you feel
From
it.
that point of view, yeah, I would definitely say Vacation more. Up.
Go with
Mel's
Elf.
going with Elf.
Hey man, not finding your dad until you're grown, and then not feeling like you belong. That's a whole nother.
And I will say
whole nother thing.
Yeah, and I will say the scene where Eddie hears Buddy hears the other elves talking about him, like and he finds out that he's not an elf that way. They're like talking behind his back, and like that one hit me like, oh man, that sucks. Like because he's such a good person, and they're
Poor
not really
Buddy.
being mean, but I'm a cotton-headed ninny muggins.
You're not a cotton-headed ninny muggins.
My son was like, Dad, is that a bad word? And I was like, I guess to elves. All right.
Oh,
Elf's
where we
got
going?
It looks like Elf's got it.
Elf? All right. Don't worry, there'll be a comeback, Clark. All right. All right, who had the best line? Boom. Who had the best line?
I think we should call security.
Good idea. I like to whisper too.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite takeaway line quote from that movie that I still say that to this day is I like to whisper too. All right. And
I answered the phone for years as Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?
all right, then we got Vacation.
Remember how I was toying with the notion of suspending the Christmas bonuses?
You didn't.
This one gets missed a lot, but it's I've always thought it's one of the funniest things.
That's pretty low, mister. If I had a rubber hose, I would beat you into
I
in the
changed
September.
my mind.
Every time that hits me, and like nobody ever remembers it from the movie, it's the funniest thing. It's
If I had a
pretty
rubber
low.
hose, I would
I
beat
would
you.
I changed my mind. Like that's the like chief of police or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty low, mister.
All right. Well, who wins this for the best line?
I mean, I love that line from Vacation. And there's so like, God, there's so many good lines in both of these movies. Like, what is it? Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. he used to say that whenever leaving places and stuff. But
Rubber hose beating wins.
yeah,
Giving one back to Clark.
it's pretty low, mister.
I would beat you within an inch of your life. Bobby, you were too slow. I've already changed the score. Rats. I think I like the elf line better, but you know what? Elf's winning, so there you go. Let's see here. How about holiday spirit? Which one got you into the holiday spirit? Which movie got you more into the holiday spirit? Vacation. We'll start with that one first.
Understand it. Everybody come out quick! Look at the lights! Oh, damn it!
Yep, that's the holiday spirit right there.
Right, baby.
Woohoo! I love the the power gauge going crazy. All right, and then Elf Christmas Spirit is Zoe Deschanel singing with the crowd, because there's not a better way to spread Christmas cheer than to sing out loud for all to hear. And you saw the meter,
The clausometer, yeah.
clausometer right there with spirit, the spirit clausometer, and it went way up. So that's why I picked that as my spirit, my Christmas spirit scene.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But again, this might be my bias coming in because I've watched Christmas Vacation pretty much every year for the past
30 years.
30 years.
Since 89.
So the movie itself just gets me in the Christmas spirit, as does Elf. But now, too, like putting up Christmas lights is one of the most infuriating and rewarding things at the same time. When it's actually done, it is very rewarding.
It's the worst.
When you like, I'll test every strand of light and make sure they work before I get up there, and I put them up there, and everything's done, and then one of them goes out, like and it's the most infuriating. It's gotten to the point where it's like I almost just buy a new set every year, because like these better not go out. I'm like
You are Clark Griswold.
I'll show my house is it's not to that level yet, but oh yeah, I need to get some pictures.
The people that live across the street from me, they're ridiculous. They have all these blow up snowmen and all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It's
I got them too.
pretty nuts over there. So who won on the holiday spirit?
I don't know. What do you say? Bobby saying Elf. And again, like Elf has all of those things from the holiday shows that we normally think of, the claymation guys and
Yeah, I think the singing, that's supposed to be the feel good moment that saves Christmas and gets everybody into the holiday cheer and all that stuff. But I think I'm going to agree with you. I think I get actual into it when I watch Vacation, because I've seen it my whole life, and it does remind me of Christmas. Watching, oh, here he goes, and then you're just waiting for the light switch. Like you've gone through this with Clark, 30 times over the years. You know what I mean? But it's still fun to watch. So I'm gonna say that there's a couple of movies that are like that, and you just see them every year, and it's also playing, decorating the house and playing like certain Christmas carols. The little drummer boy, there's a certain tape my mom used to play all the Christmas carols. She would play Christmas tapes and stuff every year, and it's just I don't know, it's a nice memory. So
and having all that family over that you can't stand. When the doorbell rings, ding dong, ding dong, boom, boom.
We never really had the family over that we couldn't stand. We would go over to our relatives' houses and stuff. So
so you were the
never had it
family
at our
that they
house,
couldn't stand.
We were the the offenders.
It's like they say, if you don't know who the jerk at work is, it's you.
Let's see here. Okay, how about a WTF moment? Oh, all right. This is my WTF moment. Oop.
Helen! Oh, thank God you're all right. Oh, I'm fine. I'm just fine. There was a big misunderstanding.
And it took me years to notice this.
She's grabbing his package. Yeah.
I'm not pressing any charges. You'll call me on it. This is Clark Griswold and his family.
Welcome to our home.
Even after that, like it took me years and years to notice that.
Hold on here. Man, my clips are messed up. Just in case this doesn't work right.
You surprised? Surprised, Eddie?
That's not supposed to be the WTF moment, right?
We're on that.
There we go. Boom.
Oh.
I was like, what? Ugh, gross, man. That's gross.
Santa even warns him about that before he leaves.
Yeah, that's not for you to eat. Yeah, when I saw that, yeah, that's gross. So eating chewed up gum, that's a WTF as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's a win for Buddy, because
it's a loss for Buddy, but he gets the point.
Yeah, Beverly D'Angelo is just being a great wife. Buddy's eating gross, disgusting gum.
All right. And then, which movie made you laugh more? Vacation. We'll start with that one.
Surprised? Surprised, Eddie? If I woke up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised than I am right now.
Can I refill your eggnog for you? Get you something to eat? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere? Leave you for dead?
No, I'm doing just fine, Clark. Your company kill off all them people over in India not long ago?
No. You missed out on that one.
Yeah. His character is so good.
Mm-hmm. But the interaction between him and Clark, because Eddie's so over the top and Clark's such a great straight man. Like it's them two together. As much funny stuff is in that movie. Like, to me, just their dialogue together is the funniest parts.
I always love how he's like, Clark, you look like you could use a cold one. And then he gets a new beer and then gives him the one he drank from. Yeah. Opens a new one for himself.
Was that in this one?
No, that's I think that's in Europe. No, in
the
original one. Yeah. But yeah, it's a hilarious moment. All right, here's an elf laugh moment.
Hello.
laughed pretty hard at this first time I saw this movie. Because that's a lot of floors.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the Empire State Building.
And then I also had this moment. I had more than one. I had to pull an extra clip this time.
Who the heck are you?
What are you talking about? I'm Santa Claus.
You're Santa.
This is a funny moment.
What song did I sing for you on your birthday this year?
Happy birthday, of course.
Damn it. Yeah, he said, damn it. I got it. Both of those are classic.
Yeah. So I took it as, since we had funniest moment, and what's the name of this category?
I don't
Made
know.
you laugh more.
It was
I took
almost
it as,
redundant, but which movie made you laugh more?
yeah, I don't think it was, because I was thinking it as funniest singular moment, and then which movie overall made you laugh more. And I really don't know. I mean, these are two very funny movies. So I really don't know.
I'd have to say that Elf makes me out loud laugh more than Vacation. Vacation's amusing to me, and I can relate to it. I've also seen it so many times I know what's going to happen. But
Right.
there's a lot of stuff in Elf that I still caught myself laughing pretty hard at.
Yeah, I'll say I don't know if it's because I've seen a Vacation so many times or not, but yeah, definitely. I did. There are certain things that Will Ferrell does that are just going to be funny every time you see it.
Yeah, Santa, like the Santa scream that you can't not laugh at that.
You sit on a throne of lies. You smell like beef and cheese.
All right, and thank you, Bobby. Bobby says Elf
Yeah.
also, which has Elf leaving Vacation in the dust. Okay, which this category was a fun one for me. Well, fun one for me. It the one thing I remembered strongest about this, before I even knew who Zooey Deschanel was, like, I was completely entranced with her singing in this movie. Like, she's got that awesome old school vocal stylings, and she's just got a fantastic voice. And I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh my God, she's fantastic. Like, before she was ever who she was.
Right.
Before she was Katy Perry's doppelganger, she was like, I just saw her in this movie, and I was completely like blown away by her singing. I loved it. So this category is Christmas music. So I got a little clip of her singing, which the first part isn't a Christmas song, but then it goes into a Christmas song. So
I wish I knew how to break
This isn't a Christmas song?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Or maybe it's cold outside.
Yeah, something.
At least I'm gonna say that
I didn't hear anything about Christmas, but this is a Christmas song.
you better not cry, you better not
So I picked this movie for
Santa Claus is coming to town.
for best music. I'm going to pick that one. We also have a Vacation clip.
I would say just because of the intro song, Vacation wins.
Pretty good.
And Maliki Likimaka.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that song.
And so one thing National Lampoon's kind of always does well is they really nail the music on all the movies.
Mhm.
And they have original songs in them that are just amazing, like Holiday Road.
Oh yeah.
And stuff like that. And so for me, the Christmas Vacation song is like it's on the Christmas playlist. It's like, and that's the only place that you're gonna hear it. It's an original song for that movie. So I got to go Christmas Vacation on this one. I love Zooey Deschanel as well, and she's a great singer. But
let's see. She was in the She's Got Issues music video by The Offspring. Well, thank you, Mel. I love her singing Elf. That's a Christmas song, says Bobby.
Baby, it's cold outside.
All right. And
that's the rapey Christmas song.
that's what it's called. Rapey Christmas. Wow.
She's like trying to go home. That's how people like about it. Yeah, she's trying to go home. He's like, it's too cold outside. I really got to feed my cat. No, it's too cold outside.
That's the one they were trying to cancel, I think, last year.
Yeah.
That song. Yep.
That's what I mean,
Curtis is right.
It is a little bothersome hearing it now, but
it's an old old song. I don't know.
The tune is spectacular.
Yep. Let me in. Let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Yeah, Green Jello had that song. Little pig, let me in.
Yeah.
It's cold outside. All right, who wins? Curtis is right. Normally he is. You are correct. Just a classic song about stalking and coercion. No big deal.
Yeah, I gotta. To me, the Christmas Vacation song is Gangbuster, so I'm sticking with that.
Sticking
we
with
all
that.
think, guys.
What? I think.
Then,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and the other music is good in Christmas Vacation as well. I don't. Besides Zoe, though, I don't remember much.
That's enough for me. For me, Zoe. But there are some good songs.
What do you say, chat?
Yeah.
For
Mel.
music, Elf or Vacation?
Mel, way to make it weird. Okay.
Mel? Hey, Mel? Inappropriate. Okay.
She's just being honest.
No, I know, but what's that from? Is that from Mitch? Hey, Mitch?
Mitch?
Inappropriate.
I don't know.
That's what is that? Wedding Crashers, I think.
All right. Let's.
All right.
Bobby says
agrees
Elf.
with you. This old house sure is looking good.
Riley loves the. Now we're evening out. So now we're tied.
You know what? They both had good music. They both deserve a point. How about that?
How about it's Christmas? We'll just give them both a point. It'll be a special snowflakey point.
There's something in my drink, baby. It's cold outside. It's getting hard to think. Well, it's kind of cold outside.
All right. Life order music. Okay, who had the best tree? Who had the best tree?
Dad, that thing wouldn't fit in our yard.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
Yeah.
The Griswold family Christmas.
I love this scene.
It used to scare me when I was a kid. Like, yeah, because just the sound the tree makes.
Looks great.
What's the matter with you?
Look what you've done to my tree.
And he turns around and his back's on fire. And then we got the elf tree.
What should we put on it first?
Lights.
Oh, good. And then after that?
Ornaments.
What the hell's that?
A Christmas tree. Buddy dropped it down in the park.
Which is a felony.
Yeah.
Get the star on top.
This is great.
I'm gonna have to say Vacation gets the tree one though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I didn't put it in there, but they forgot to bring an axe, so they dug the tree out of the ground, which would be basically harder than chewing through the damn tree, like, in real life. That was hilarious, but it wasn't as good of a tree. And to be fair, Christmas Vacation had 2 trees. I didn't put the other one in.
And Buddy had another Elf had another tree also when he's on the date.
The Rockefeller Center, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. How about? All right. Now it's time.
Has anybody in the chat, or have you, Clint, seen the Rockefeller Center tree in real life?
No,
I know you've
have
been
not.
to New York.
I've been to New York a lot of times. I've never seen it in real life. No.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be very cool. I've been there around the holidays, but no, I've never seen that. But now that's on my list. I think I might like to go, maybe, to watch the ball drop on New Year's at least, maybe one.
Sounds like a nightmare.
One time. Yeah, it sounds like going to downtown Austin on Halloween or New Year's when I think about it, which makes me not want to do that, but something makes me want to also do it. But I just like going to New York City. So let's see here. Best animal attack. Who had the best animal attack? All right, Elf starts this one off.
Hey, what's your name? My name's Buddy. Oh, does someone need a hug? I just wanted a hug.
Oh, so good. And then Vacation. This is another good one. Yeah, it's a double animal attack.
And this is a good, I think I cut it down from like 7 minutes. It's a good 7-minute scene where they're fighting this squirrel.
Oh, Elaine.
Gone.
That's his reaction.
It's gone.
Squirrel.
I'm gonna have to go with squirrel. As lovable as that raccoon was, I gotta go with squirrel.
And the scene after his dad yells "squirrel," I had to cut it. We wanted to keep our clips shorter. The squirrel's on Chevy Chase's back, and they went in there to save their mom, who was on the floor hiding from the squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
And the squirrel on Chevy Chase's back, and he doesn't know. And then he pushes his mom down again. Remember that? He pushes her over the couch. She's like, "Ah!" Yeah, Vacation looks like it's got it.
Yeah, but my
squirrel. Where's Eddie? He usually eats these damn things. No, he heard they were hiding sodium or something like that.
I'm having a hard time.
Baby, it's cold outside.
There it is. All right. Now, okay, if you had to pick one of these movies to watch every year forever, which one would you pick? If you had to watch one of these movies every Christmas for the rest of your life, which one of these movies would you pick? Here's a little clip from Vacation.
Shitter was full.
Oh my God. He's drinking Meisterbräu. My dad used to drink that beer.
Merry Christmas!
That was like, I think you bought that at Sam's or something. Oh man.
There you go, baby.
And then basically, if I had to describe the movie Elf to anybody, this is how I would describe it. That's it right there. If I had to watch one of these every year, boy.
Well, I chose that scene, besides the fact that it's a classic scene. Shitter was full. Because, like, right after Christmas and how the holiday season and stuff, you're like, oh my God, when is Christmas going to be over? And you think, oh, like, I just don't like Christmas anymore. It's just that your shitter's full. And you got to dump all that out. And by the time Christmas comes around the next time, you're happy again and you're excited and it's Christmas time, you know? At the end of the holiday season, whenever you're like, I'm tired of traveling, I'm tired of eating this, and I'm like buying grips for all these people and you're all grumpy, your shitter's full. You got to empty your shitter into the storm drain and relax and watch some movies and just,
Is that the moral of the story?
That's the moral of the story.
I thought
Your
the moral of
holiday
the story
shitter is
was
full.
that Dad had a lot of help from Jack Daniels. He's like, God,
Well-
Dad, how did you do it? You know, he's doing the best he can. He's screwing everything up. He's like, how did you do it? And then he figures out that his immortal dad was actually drunk half the time. Oh, I didn't know that when I was a kid. You were just hammered. Thus showing the humanity of your parents. Your parents are just people.
Mhm.
That's something that's funny. As you grow up not realizing until you're grown up, you're like, they're just people. They screw up like I do all the time. Like that, they're just people. So you don't realize
Isn't it
that when you're a
amazing?
kid.
At the point in life, and I don't know what age it was, but at the point in life, because parents, teachers, politicians, and all these people that are so grandiose when you're a child, you grow up, and at some age you realize it's just a bunch of humans bumping into each other trying to get it right. Like there's no there's people talking about the Illuminati stuff. I wish there was an Illuminati. I wish somebody had a plan. We're all just running around bumping into knocking things over and trying to get it right.
I was
and
having that
it's amazing.
conversation with your old buddy Natchet, our good friend, and I'm like, dude, I was talking about some conspiracy theory, and he's like, dude, I work for the city. He's like, you think that the government is that organized? They're not. He's like, trust me, I work for them. They're not whatever it almost said what you said. I wish they were that organized that they could actually coordinate to do some grand plan or grand thing. They're not. They're not. Yeah, they're just bumbling around, which is hilarious that you almost verbatim said the same thing.
Yep.
That's your old roommate from 20 years ago.
We probably had this conversation 60 times.
So that brings us back to the question. If you had to watch one of these movies every year forever, which one would it be?
Although Elf is getting to the point where I can watch it every year forever, and I pretty much do. I think even the kids were like, "Oh, we're watching Elf again." Like they love it, but Christmas Vacation absolutely has stood that test of time. I gotta go. Now I'm gonna fight the chat apparently, but
Yeah.
I gotta go with it.
There's some movies that I'm gonna watch no matter what if it's on, and I could tell you, I was talking about Love Actually. Love Actually is one of those movies. Anytime it's on, sorry, I gotta watch. I have to watch the rest of it. 40-Year-Old Virgin is one of those movies. If that movie is on, I'm watching that movie. Period. And I know now these days we're on demand streaming everything and stuff. But I mean, you remember when we had scheduled programming and just random stuff would happen to be on. If either of those movies, and Christmas Vacation is one of those movies, and I've watched it every year forever, and I really enjoyed Elf a lot, but it's not I don't have the sentimental attachment to that
Right.
that I do to Vacation. So I have to give it to Vacation for my point.
Yeah, it might just straight up be a nostalgia point, but I gotta.
It
gotta do
is,
it.
but that's the question. If you're gonna watch a Christmas movie every year, which one is it gonna be? That's an honest response. You know what I mean? For me, it's like I've already been watching that. I've been watching that
Right.
every year for forever, and I probably always will. You know.
Yep.
And so it's you and I and Riley against Mel and Bobby.
Oh well.
I
Yeah,
guess
I think
I better record the
got it.
point before we get anybody else to tip the scale. Oh boy.
Will Ferrell jumps in and he's like,
I like to whisper too.
however, but that and I think that's kind of or we talked about it whenever we were making this matchup. It was like, you know, the new classics. You know, Christmas Vacation isn't super new classic anymore, but like
Yeah.
Elf is a new classic, and like
Look, man, we both hold these movies in such high regard that Vacation, we were like, who the hell? What are we gonna put up against Christmas Vacation?
Right.
There's no way to do that. We've talked about every movie, and we finally said Elf. We're like, dude, that's the only thing that comes close. So
Yeah.
so we threw it up, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like Big Trouble in Little China. We're like, we almost can't have a show for that to cover that
Yeah.
movie because what the hell can keep up with Big Trouble in Little China? There's nothing.
It's like, yeah, you know, we're talking about these god tier movies to us, and you know, I mean, why even waste the time when it's like that one's gonna win, you know? But then, you know, something like Elf comes along, and it's like, you know what? He's got a slugger's chance, man. He can, you know, he
Yeah.
can.
Elf is a fantastic movie, and again, I like that Elf is just positive all the way through. Even the dad doesn't bring the movie down. Like, you know,
Right.
you expect it to, but he doesn't. Buddy lifts him up. He doesn't bring Buddy down. Buddy lifts him up. So it's like
That's
this
right.
positive force that wins Christmas, and I think it's cool. And he does find his purpose, because he's able to fix the sleigh engine. So it's like, so there you go.
Yeah, you can't. What, you want to hear an interesting little factoid?
Also, I love that her name was Jovi, probably named after Bon Jovi. So,
I never thought about that.
Yeah, what's the factoid?
When I was younger, I always confused Dennis Hopper, James Caan, and Gene Hackman. I don't know why, but those three actors, they were the same person to me, and I hated one of them, and now I can't remember which one I hated. Anyway,
all three are tremendous actors. Yeah, Dennis Hopper's just badass, and Gene Hackman is incredible. I would say you probably hated Gene Hackman because he was Lex Luthor when you were a little kid.
Maybe that's what it was. But to me, for some reason, those three actors were interchangeable. Now, as an adult, I know that's not true. But to me, they just, in my opinion, as a kid, they looked the same. And maybe because it was I don't know, Gene and James Caan. I don't know. Their names aren't that similar. I don't know.
That's like
Hopper, Hackman.
Bill Paxton and Bill Pullman. I'm like, that's the same dude.
Yeah, he's like,
they're interchangeable. Cool. Well, it appears.
Well, I'm glad, Mel.
Let's see. I'm gonna go through this real fast. Who do you think had more had better physical comedy?
Ooh, wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Did they really? Mel says Family Guy made a joke about that, Clint. Bobby says Hackman and Khan. She can see Hopper not so much. So it might not have been Hopper as much.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper. I don't think. Actually, I don't think Gene Hackman looks like James Caan. Man.
But yeah, like I don't know why. And I just remember I hated one of them so much, and so therefore I couldn't remember which one was which. So I hated all three of them.
I just hate them all.
I don't remember which one, so I'm just gonna hate them all.
I was noticing real
Go ahead,
quick. I was noticing. Where's the cast window? There we go.
Where's the cast?
I was noticing this guy. Oops. This
Brian
guy.
Doyle Murray. Yeah.
He's like, oh, he looks different in there. That's Bill Murray's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in this picture, he looks like poor man's Wilford Brimley in that photo.
He does. He does. Well, I always get, or I know Brian Doyle Murray, but I always think the other guy from Office Space, Jump to Conclusions, is Brian Doyle Murray. Like, I always do that. Anytime I see that, I'm like, hey, that's Bill Murray's brother. And it's like, no, it's not.
It's a mat that you jump to. We got to do that movie too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the winner, the grand winter winner, is we got 8 versus 7.
Ooh, that's about as close as you can get.
Yep, it was a close race.
I think I did. Clint, did I give you EJ's message?
No.
Oh, I guess I didn't. I'm sorry, Mel. You were early on. You were early on EJ's birthday.
Oh,
a few weeks early.
Oops, my
but
bad.
He's like, thank you anyway.
Weird. Well,
I'm sorry, Mel.
Maybe it was because I was planning on posting a bunch of pornographic content on my page, getting shut down for like a week, and
well, that's why she sent it to me to send to you, and then I dropped
it. Just so you know, anybody watching this, I got hacked, and immediately I was trying to figure out how to change my password. I was in traffic, and I was like, you can't be on your phone figuring that out while you're driving. And before I know it, my brother calls me and he's like, hey, dude, there's some crazy by the page. And by the time I got to look, it was already shut off. And I got locked out of my Facebook for several days. I can't live stream to my page for 30 days. So it's I probably got about 2 more weeks for that. And it's been really stupid. So anyway, if anybody tries to get you to click on a link and enter your passwords, don't do it. Duh.
That makes me think too. So I've been seeing a lot of commercials and stuff for those metal wallets for men. You know what I'm talking about? Like they're like metal wallet, and I was like, why would somebody get that? Well, apparently the reason those things exist is because there's some app or something that they have where they can scan your credit card.
They bump you, yeah.
Without even with it being in your pocket.
Yep, they do that. They do that in Europe a lot. Yeah, but you can bump into somebody and steal their information. You can get RFID RF blocker wallets and stuff that shield your wallet from that. So
those metal wallets and so I don't know if they have to be metal.
They don't have to be metal, but it'll say on there that it'll shield your cards and stuff.
So yeah, it's something that I didn't know existed. So I heard it up lit on NPR. So just putting it out there, like this is a thing now, guys. They don't even have to. You don't have to swipe your card. You don't have to do anything. They just have this little thing that picks up can read your card from your pocket, or your purse or whatever. Yeah,
that's what they call it, Bobby. They call it bumping. Like they get real close to you. That's what it's called. But yeah, they just got to get within. Just like I've been in behind the register at a bar and had my phone next to the register, and it started trying to pay the register, and I'm like, whoa, I'm not trying to pay for anybody's stuff, but I had my phone close to a register, and it started trying to pay the bill, and they're like, whoa, and I'm like, nope, put that back in my pocket, like, yeah. So
Well, and apparently too, there was this thing they were saying. So if you have electronics or something in your car while you're shopping or whatever, make sure and turn them off. Don't just like silence them or let them like power them down, because they were showing people walking around with this thing picking up signals in people's car and hacking into their iPads and their whatever electronics were in their car. So turn all that crud off.
yeah, man, that
wow.
sucks.
Yeah,
my sister got hers done. I always here's a good trick. Is if you're gonna pay for your gas at the pump, pay with a credit card, not a debit card. If you don't have a credit card, then you can't do that. But if you have a credit card and you have the option of doing both, pay with a credit card. If they steal your credit card number, you can call the credit card company and you get your money back on your account right away. Whereas if they get you, if they scam your debit card, your bank, it takes sometimes 6 weeks to get your money done. They have to investigate and do all this stuff. So anything else, and in the store, I'll use my regular debit card. But if I'm paying for gas at a pump, I'm like, Worst case, they skim my card number and I call the credit card company and get my money back instantly. It's not like it's not an ordeal. I have friends that happened to, and they didn't have any money in their account for like 2 weeks because they had just gotten paid and then got wiped out, and they had to wait a whole pay period to get paid again before they were having to borrow money from friends and stuff, and it just to function. And so if you're using a credit card, if you're like, what's the difference? That's the difference. So that's when it even though you're paying interest, or just pay your thing off right away. But yeah. So there you go. So I will never use the even if I have a card that's maxed out, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna make a quick credit card payment and then do that, and then you do that rather than give them my debit card information. I'm very protective with that stuff because I know a lot about finance. I'm just kidding. So anyway, so that's Clint and Curtis's financial tips for the week for Christmas. Yeah. So the winner this week is Vacation, and we're gonna shut it down a little earlier than usual tonight, but it is the holidays, and I'm gonna go see. I've got a friend's band is playing, so I'm gonna jump in the car and head downtown to downtown Austin, where I haven't been in a long time. So that's gonna be exciting. Anybody in Austin want to see some cool punk rock? Go check out my buddy Phil and his band, the Oxys, at level 13 tonight. They're about to play for the 13th floor, something like that. It's the old Beerland. So
okay.
So maybe I'll see you guys there. And band's called the Oxys. Good stuff. It's my good buddy Rob, who's the drummer for Nowhere Bound. He's in that band also, and Phil's also. And yeah, some good people. Abel's a buddy of mine. Great dudes. So check them out. Lots of fun. And yeah, the Oxys. It might be OXY' though. So, but it's like adolescence style, like old punk stuff. Good music. So check it out. And I've got a new band called Generation Exit. That's we're actually recording right now. We're doing pre-production. And that's going to be exciting. So I'll give you guys further news about that as the developments happen. So special shout out, air horn, for our patrons. All you Patreon peeps, I appreciate you guys supporting us. And if you haven't yet, guys, you know the drill. You've got to subscribe. Yeah. So, guys, have a great night. We'll see you next week. Next week, what are we doing, Curtis? It's
Next week is Die Hard versus Home Alone.
Yeah, Die Hard versus Home Alone. This is going to be
That's
a good
right.
one. For those who are thinking, what? Yeah! Those who are thinking, what the hell does Die Hard have to do with Home Alone? Well, Die Hard and Home Alone are both Christmas movies. Also, Die Hard and Home Alone are both argued about whether or not they're Christmas movies. Also, Die Hard and Home Alone are both people that are trapped and trying to fight the bad guys. They're basically setting booby traps. So if
Right,
you think,
Robert. Yep.
yeah, so if you think about it, Die Hard and Home Alone are actually the same stinking movie, which is crazy. So
Just watch.
so check that out.
There is a fan theory mail where Kevin McAllister grows up to be John McClane.
There's also a fan theory that Kevin McAllister is Saw, is the clown face guy. You never heard that?
Ooh, no, I haven't heard
Yeah,
that.
there's go do a Google on that once we get off, because I've had several people actually bring that up to me. You know that Kevin McAllister went on to do the Saw stuff. What? No, he didn't. You're an idiot. So anyway, so there you go. Lots of fun coming down the pike. So be sure to subscribe, guys. We appreciate you. We're gonna see you guys soon. If you don't catch us next week, we will be back after next week, but you guys have happy holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, what's the Seinfeld one? Festivus, yeah. Whatever your thing is, have a great time, and we love you guys.
We do.
Curtis, Clint signing off.
Thank you.
Tune in next week.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Yeah!